Good morning, I bid to all of you.
I am Elina binti Ibrahim, your mediator for today. You may address me as Miss Ili. Before we start, may I get to know our parties and how you wish to be addressed?
Hello, I'm Puan Aziza binti Miskan and you can call me Puan Aziza.
Hi, my name is Noor Fadila binti Nisman and you may address me as Puan Noor.
My name is Yamazing from the insurance company. You may address me as Miss Mazing.
Okay, thank you everyone. And I believe that I was contacted by Miss Mazing to conduct today's mediation session. All parties had agreed to attend the session, which will be conducted for 30 minutes via this online platform. And all parties are also aware of everyone who will be attending today's session. The mediation fees have also already been agreed upon prior in the agreement forms you have all successfully sent to me. As per my qualifications, I am a practicing lawyer for 10 years, and I have been an accredited mediator for 7 years. As a mediator, I have successfully managed to settle 35 disputed cases. And as a lawyer, I can be more professionally attentive to all matters at hand. And if all goes well, I'm authorized to produce a settlement agreement for your dispute today, should you come to a solution. In this session, you all have the authority to negotiate on the terms of agreement, keeping in mind of each party's needs. And no illegal or threatening to commit any illegal activity should be done or made during this session. If there is any, I shall stop the session and possibly be required to report such conduct to the proper authorities. In this mediation session, I am a completely neutral party. I have no prior contacts or relationship with any of you that is unrelated to today's mediation. And I did contact each one of you to get a little bit of understanding of the case we have today and to inform everyone of the parties that will be attending. In doing so, I also obtained your mediation agreement forms. Now, my role as a mediator in this session is to simply assist you in your dispute resolution path as a neutral party. I am not able to give any advice to any of you, nor will I. Now, in this process, I will give you the power to determine the outcomes of today's session on mutual agreement. Before we start, may I enlighten you on the procedures for today's mediation? The parties will begin by each giving an opening statement for 4 minutes. Then we would have a joint session to identify the common grounds of today's disputes, and then we will come up with an agenda. After that, each party will be provided with a separate session for 3 minutes together with me. Following that, we would have a rejoin session where the parties would be able to address the agenda. Lastly, if all goes well, an agreement could be formed from this session. After each session, however, I will provide a summary to make sure that all parties are clear upon what has been said throughout. Please note that everything said in this session is confidential and no notes nor documents produced in this session will be kept by me. As soon as the mediation is over, I will destroy all the documents. Although we are online, there can be no private recording in the session, and I will urge all parties to strictly adhere to this rule. I would like to emphasize that along with the agreement of this mediation, any matters raised will not be subjected to court action. Before we start, allow me to lay down a few ground rules of today's session. Firstly, one person must speak at a time and the others will attempt to listen. Common courtesy must be observed at all times, and each person would be present at all times during the mediation. Since we have 3 parties today, all parties should fairly and equally participate. You can speak when called upon, and comments must be kept precise, relevant, and prompt. Emphasis that insulting behavior or personal attacks would not be tolerated in this session. I believe everybody is clear. Is everybody clear on the procedures and the ground rules for this session?
Yes.
If yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that we can move on to the opening statements by parties. Any which one parties can provide their opening statements, observing the common courtesy, and you will have 4 minutes to do so. So which party would like to start first?
Can I think I want to start first, if that's okay with Puan Noor and Miss Mizi.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Yes,
so
please.
Puan Aziza can go first.
So all right. I think a few days ago, all right, the thing is went like this. On that day, I was on my motor riding on the main road, and then I was heading to Tanjung Sepat. When I was approaching the junction, Puan Noor drove a car from a small road and suddenly went straight very fast.
No, no, I think you misunderstand. The thing is actually like this.
I'm sorry, Puan Noor, but this is Puan Aziza's turn to present her statement. We must listen without interruptions.
Fine, later I tiba.
Please continue,
Yeah,
Puan
so
Aziza.
So as I was saying, I was riding on the main road, particularly the right lane because kiri kan untuk kereta yang belok kiri. So I was shocked when Puan No crossed my road. But when I see, I brake immediately. But then this accident still happened, and I am here with my fractured leg with no work for months. So
Is there anything else that you would like to disclose in this session? Puan
I think
Aziza?
no, that's all.
Okay, then allow me to summarize. You were involved in a motor accident in which the accident caused you to have a fractured leg, and due to that, you cannot work for months. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
Are
correct.
you permanently off work, or are you just taking a break?
Yeah, I was permanently not because due to my injury.
Okay, thank you, Puan Aziza, for your cooperation. Next, I would like to invite Puan Noor to give her opening statement, if that's okay with everybody.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I shall remind the parties to observe common courtesy for others to listen to Puan Noor's statement. So Puan Noor, you can start giving your opening statement.
Okay, now it's my turn. I will tell you how it actually happened. On that day, I was driving from Jalan Balai Raya heading to Banting. At that junction, I already stopped at the junction and observed the conditions. I saw she with her left signal. Ordinary people will understand left signal indicates that you are turning left. There's no point for me to wait right. So, but then who knows? You're just driving straight with the left signal on. Of course, I know that you have the right of way, but this accident is partly because of your fault. I would say it's too extreme if you are expecting me to pay all your damages to the fullest. Therefore, I'm here to discuss the monetary compensation, which is reasonable for the accident.
Okay. Are there any more arguments or points that you would like to convey in your opening statement?
No, I think that's all.
Then allow me to summarize. You believe that Puan Aziza wanted to turn left because of her left signal, and you admitted that you did cross into Puan Aziza's right of way, and Puan Aziza is partly to contribute to the accident because you believe the left turn signal was on, and you thought that it was safe for you to continue in your path, and you want to discuss on the monetary compensation for reasonable accident. Is that correct?
Yep.
Thank you, Puan Noor, for your cooperation. Now I believe it's Miss Mazin's turn to produce her opening statement. Miss Mazin?
I can give a full picture of the accident. There's no CCTV there, but I must get to the bottom of it since we are the ones to pay. So I'm here today for two reasons: checking whether my client is at fault and how much she is responsible for, and secondly, to avoid any ridiculous claim that leads to the misuse of the insurance policy. Basically, I'm worried about the compensation. If Puan Aziza also contributed to this accident, then we should not be paying so much for her.
I understand that. Is there any other issue that you would like to disclose?
No. Wait. I have to pinpoint that the quantum must be agreed by me as the representative of the insurance company.
Is there anything else?
No.
Okay, very well, Miss Mazin. Allow me to summarize your argument. Now, in here, you have stated that in accordance with your dispute, in this dispute, you are the insurance company representative, and in accordance with the relations of the case, you are required to provide for monetary compensation according to your insurance policy. Is that correct?
Yes.
And any claim of insurance must be on your discretion. That's correct? Did I get everything?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Mazin, for your cooperation. I would like to thank all parties for your cooperation and participation in this session. And we will now move on to the joint session, where all the parties may present their arguments and receive comments from others. However, the common courtesy and ground rules shall still apply in the next session. Any which party can start.
Okay, so why won't you just admit that you are in the wrong?
The wrong is on your side. If you didn't want to turn left, why you still keep your left signal on? You have also contributed to the accident. That's unfair to me to pay everything you claim.
What do you mean? I mean, right now I want to take my motorbike, and that you crash because of your problem to follow the not follow the rules of the road. So why?
I did properly look around before I crossed the road. That's not all my fault. It's because of you that did not turn off the signal which misled me. That's unreasonable for me to compensate for your own negligence.
But I don't care. I want to compensate for everything, including my trauma.
You look right now and you want to compensate for trauma. No basis for me to pay you this. You're making a daylight robbery.
Nah, I don't care. I want to compensate for a new motorbike as well as because you crashed mine. So
Hey, there's no way you're getting a new motorbike, okay? Because the accident didn't result in a total loss at all.
so what? If I can't get from you, then I would ask for more money from Puan Noh lah.
Why would you ask for me? Insurance is supposed to cover that. Miss Mason should not pass the burden to me.
Hey, our insurance policy does not work that way, okay?
Nah. So for now, I don't care who pays me as long as I get paid for everything. Also, you have to pay for my medical bill. You can't call that unreasonable.
But you want to go for a private hospital.
So I have to because they can't help me in the government hospital. If you can't cover, then the insurance will cover.
Our policy only covers a reasonable medical bill and motor vehicle damage. So only your motorbike repair, not even a new one. And private hospital also cannot be justified, and neither is a seek for trauma medication as it is unreasonable.
I believe that our time for our joint session has actually ended. Due to that, I believe that all parties had ample time to respond to each other's opening statements. Now, in our next session, I would lay down the common grounds that I have identified in all of your statements and draft an agenda. We'll proceed to draft an agenda. So first of all, the common grounds is in regarding to quantum. This is what I have identified. Next, I have also identified that another common ground is in the choice of treatment institution, whether you would opt for a government or private hospital. And lastly is the issue on responsibility. Do all parties agree that this is the common ground of your dispute today?
I agree.
I'm okay with that.
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. If this is your common ground, as I've stated, in relation to your the quantum, the private hospital, either private hospital or a governmental hospital, and responsibility issue, I would like to know which common grounds the parties would like to draft first. Which brings us to the most impact and what you feel is more important to discuss in this session.
Okay, on behalf of the insurance company, I need to ascertain the responsibility of both parties, private everything. And I think quantum can come last after we decide everything.
In this regard, our proposed agenda is to discuss the common grounds in the sequence responsibility, choice of treatment institution, and quantum. Please let me know if anyone else has any different thoughts on this.
No objection.
Okay.
Okay lah, boleh.
Thank you all parties for your cooperation in the session. Now let's move on to the next session. Do you prefer to discuss the agenda in a joint discussion, or would you like to proceed to a separate session?
If I may propose, can we have a separate session?
Okay. Puan Aziza would like a separate session. How about the other parties?
Yeah, it's fine with us.
Who would go
Me too.
first?
And I would like to be the first one.
Is it okay if
Okay,
Puan
after you.
Aziza goes first?
Okay, after you.
All right.
So you
So Puan Aziza would go first for the separate session, followed by Puan Noor, if that's okay with all the parties. Okay. And Miss Mason can go last. Before we leave, I would like to reiterate that this is a private session and it is strictly confidential. Whatever has been stated to me in this session will be kept confidential between us, the parties in the session. And for the other parties who are waiting for your turn, I would like you to think of the previous sessions and what you feel you can offer as an agreement term. Puan Noor and Puan Mason, you may wait in the main meeting room, and Puan Aziza and I will move to a breakout room for a separate session. Puan Aziza, please click the accept button to move into the separate session. Puan Aziza, what do you think about the session so far? How has it been going for you?
Well, for me, I think there's something macam something tak kena, and I think it's a deadlock in the previous session. Puan Noh seems reluctant to accept my viewpoint or compromise with my solution, while Miss Mason is not, tak kesian langsung at me. So like she's like an emotionless robot delivered for an insurance company. So I think for me, there are two concerns that I feel uncomfortable to disclose in front of them. First one is that the responsibility is 100% on the Puano side. But the previous session, Puano keeps arguing that it is partly my fault. But I have been driving on my lawful path because the street jalan tu is mine. And nobody can foresee the car emerging from the minor road in sudden manner. What's more, I applied the brake immediately. It's not that I just crashed to her car. So I just, bila nampak kereta, I terus brake. So indeed, Puano mentioned that she was rushing to work at that time and wanted to settle everything quickly. But I think dia macam laju je because she was rushing lah. Secondly, I wish to have all the expenses accrued from the private hospital to be fully covered because I cannot tolerate the government hospital anymore.
Okay, in regards to this, I would like to know, you believe that your priority is to receive treatment from the private hospital, right? May I know the reason why you are reluctant to attend the government hospital?
For me personally, this is my first unfortunate accident where I experienced severe injuries, like fracture of leg. So I think there is a need of future treatment, rehabilitation and stuff, and surgical reconstruction, as I've been told, of ligament off. So I don't think the government hospital can provide what I need. And seeing how they treat the COVID patient by asking them to do self-quarantine at home and even the breathing equipment is not sufficient, make me prejudiced with the government's hospital services. So I'm not confident with the government hospital.
Okay, I understand your concern, Puan Aziza. If Puan Noor actually manages to secure a governmental hospital capable of providing the appropriate and full treatment that specializes on bone fractures, would you consider it?
Well, if and only they are able to find and let me skip the long queue, and then I can consider it because I don't want to miss the golden time to receive treatment.
Okay, I understand that. I see. Is there anything else that you wish to get off your chest? Anything else you want to disclose?
Well, for now, tak ada.
That is all for now, is it? Then allow me to summarize. In this dispute, you have two concerns. First of all is that you feel that Puan Noor is 100% responsible for the accident and you have the right of way during that time. You also wish to receive treatment in a private hospital as you are not confident with the government hospital to skip the long queue, and also because you are not confident in their expertise. Did I get everything right?
Yes.
But you are open for public hospital, for a government hospital, if Puan Noor can actually give these kind of recommendations for professionality and for immediate treatment. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Puan Aziza, for being very cooperative in this session. You may leave this private session as I call in the next party. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Puan Noor, how do you feel the session has been going so far? Do you have anything that you would wish to disclose to me?
I think Puan Aziza knows that expenses will be covered by the insurance company, so she chose a private hospital instead of a government hospital because it costs more.
Regarding this, is it possible that she chose to go to a private hospital because she needs more professional medication for her injury?
No, I don't think so. She only needs minor medical attention only. The same services are provided in government hospital. That GHS has the most equipped facilities in Selangor. So I don't believe that they cannot carry out this surgery, which is quite common in the medical field.
I understand that. I believe that she stated that because of the injury, she could not work. Correct? What do you feel about
Yes. She kept emphasizing that her employment contract was ended because of the injury arising from the accident. But I don't think it's true. Actually, she has told her colleagues about that after her employment contract ends, she is not intending to continue the contract anymore. I guess that she is taking this as one of the opportunity to make more claims from me. And also, one more thing is that she said she is now a full-time housewife. So if we think in general, what a housewife would do is basically cleaning the house, cooking for her family. So what I'm doubting is that if she can do the house chores, it means that she can also do the work as a cleaner in school as well, because the work is basically like sweeping the floor, collecting the rubbish and throwing it, etc., which is simply similar to doing house chores. So if she is able to do the house chores, then her physical condition should be fitted as a cleaner in school as well.
So what do you feel is reasonable to offer her as a term of negotiation regarding this?
I think If she goes to a government hospital, it would be more reasonable. If she can settle on this, that this would help our dispute a lot.
Okay, I understand. Is there anything else that you wish to tell me, that you wish to get off your chest?
No, I think that's all.
Then allow me to summarize. You feel that it is unreasonable for Puan Aziza to go to a private hospital as you believe that her injuries are minor and she can go to a government hospital that can provide the same treatment. You also believe that she did not lose her job, but actually her employment contract had ended. Therefore, she had stopped working because of that and not because of the injury. And you believe that if Puan Aziza opt for a government hospital, it would be more reasonable to cover the expense. Did I get everything right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you willing to bring this up in the joint discussion as a term of negotiation?
Yes, sure.
So if so, then I urge you to be more open to the idea. Thank you, Puan Noor, for being very cooperative in the session. You may leave the private session as I call in Miss Mazin.
Thank you.
So hello, Miss Yap. How are you feeling today? How do you think the session has been going?
I don't think the parties understand our insurance policy. Adding on to that, the policy is not backed by Puan Noor but her sister. So she doesn't know what we cover and what we don't. All the relief bills claimed from Puan Aziza are not completely under our policy at all. So she cannot claim for everything.
May I know what she would be able to claim?
I would say the damaged vehicle and the medical bill.
I see. Meanwhile, is the responsibility of parties directly proportional to the amount that they can claim?
Oh, yes. If let's say our insurer is 100% responsible for this accident, we'll fully compensate the reasonable amount and claim a cure from this accident. But I would say in my life as an insurance agent, it's too redundant to receive the treatment of bone fracture from a private hospital. Government hospital is more than sufficient.
So you believe that if they go for a government hospital, it would be sufficient enough. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you wish to disclose in this session?
No?
Then allow me to summarize. You do feel that it is unreasonable for Puan Aziza to make irrelevant claims, especially towards the insurance company, correct? And the claims that is covered by the insurance policies include what has been stated earlier, the vehicle and medical bill. And the insurance company will fully compensate for the case provided that the liability is 100% on Puan Noor. Is that correct?
Yes, you're right.
Is there any terms of negotiation?
I would like to have perhaps Puan Noor propose some trustable government hospital general doctor for the Puan Aziza. So Puan Aziza would more willingly to opt for the government hospital.
I understand that. So thank you very much, Ms. Mazin, for your cooperation in the session. Is that all that you wish to discuss with me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So with that, I believe that you can leave the private session and we will move on to the rejoin session.
All right.
So has everyone entered the Zoom platform? I believe everyone is here. In the next session, we will address the issues that has arisen according to their ranks that you have agreed to put them on in our agenda. And I have allocated 5 minutes for the session. I invite you to discuss on the first issue that you have stated in your agenda, which is regarding responsibility. Now, which one of you can start?
Okay, then I will start first. Okay, I believe that I'm more responsible for the accident because I didn't have the right of way. But you must understand that I was in a rush and I thought you were going to the left.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all.
I admit I accidentally turned the wrong signal, but I think I still had the right of way.
Okay, and I think that in regards to this issue, there is an agreement that you would like to come to. Is there any agreement that you would like to propose?
Well, I think if she apologized and my bills are taken care of, I would be fine with it.
Okay, then I apologize for the accident and I will try my best to settle the bill.
Now, in this first issue, I think it has been resolved by the acknowledgement of wrong and apology from Puan Noor. And in regards to the bill, it brings us to our next agenda, which we have to determine, including the choice of treatment of institution. So, which one party can start?
The insurance would only cover reasonable expenses as well as a medical bill. If you choose to go to a private hospital, we can only cover your medical bill as if you opt for the government hospital.
Okay lah, I think that is fair to go to a government hospital, but I don't like to wait for the long queue to my appointment and I need a good doctor.
Don't worry, The insurance company would revert you to a government hospital with facilities and medical professionals that can attend to your injuries properly.
So if you say so, then okay lah, I agree.
So in this regard of this issue on the choice of treatment institution, the parties have agreed to opt for a government hospital, and provided that the insurance company covers the medical expenses and appropriate appointment. Is that correct?
Yes.
So now let's move to our last issue, which is the quantum, regarding the quantum, and in which one party can start.
The fact that you want a new motorbike is the issue right now. You will not be able to get a new motorbike.
But my bike is destroyed and trashed. What do you mean I cannot get a new bike?
But it's not a total loss, right? You compensate for 75% of the damage.
No lah, why so little?
That's very generous in fact. We are considering that the accident was not caused by you, and also that vehicle is a motorcycle. We are also covering for third party, as this policy is one loss sister insurance, and 75% for damage to vehicles. A used vehicle is very generous. No other insurance would offer this.
Okay lah, fine.
Okay, so in accordance with the third issue, if I'm not mistaken, regarding quantum, all parties have agreed that the medical bill and the damages to vehicle would actually be covered 75% from the insurance company. 75% is regarding the damage to vehicle, and the medical bill will be fully given by the insurance company. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, okay. In regards to that, I would like to summarize the terms of the agreement. In regards to responsibility, Puan Noor has apologized for the accident caused, and both parties have acknowledged their wrong on their part. And the second issue regarding the choice of treatment institution, parties have agreed on an appropriate appointment at a government hospital. And lastly, for the quantum, Puan Aziza, your medical expenses would be covered at a government hospital, and the insurance company will also cover the expenses for 75% of the damage to vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Is everybody agreeing on these terms? Is everybody agreeing? Yes, okay.
Yes.
So if there's no objection from everyone, we can proceed to finalizing the agreement after discussing with each party. I believe that we have found a mutual agreement on the solution to solve the issues that have arisen. Thank you all for your participation and cooperation in this session. Before we proceed, I would like to remind that once the agreement has been finalized and signed, everyone shall comply to the terms laid down. If any party violates any terms of the agreement, the aggrieved party may sue the defaulting party for breach of contract. Okay, if that is all, an official agreement will actually be sent to all parties for you to sign, and then a copy of that would be given to each one of you, and I will also keep a copy for this. After this session, all the information will remain confidential, and as I have promised, all the information and notes that I have taken have been destroyed. Thank you everyone for your utmost cooperation, and congratulations on your agreement.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you,
for today.
everyone.
Thank you everyone. Okay.